What's the good word, y'all? Welcome to New York Jets Syndicate channel. It's your boy DKB here. So we had former Super Bowl champ Thomas Morstead, our punter. He's back in the building after taking, I want to say, a year or two away from the New York Jets when he had originally signed with us in relief for Braden Mann. And he's been giving some words of wisdom to this team that's still stocked full of pretty young talent. But we have legit Super Bowl aspirations now that we fulfilled Woody Johnson's perspective of what this team was missing with inserting a Hall of Fame quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. So some of the quotables that Thomas Morstead had, and this was on the Jets Country podcast, was just because we've got one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, that being Aaron Rodgers, playing for the team doesn't guarantee us anything. We've all got to go out and set the standard for ourselves and earn it. And we've talked about this a number of times, but I feel like this is already ringing true, right? We have Mekhi Becton, who's finally had a full turnaround, a transformation in his own right. We have Michael Clemens, the second year defensive tackle slash defensive end. He's added on 20 extra pounds and undergone a transformation. Jermaine Johnson looks like he's gotten quicker, more explosive, more lethal. We have Garrett Wilson, who's packed on weight because he wants to play a little bit heavier while he goes through the duration of the season. Brees Hall still recovering from injury. We have Elijah Vera Tucker in the building, Dwayne Brown in the building, who we've been hearing great news about, and just a feel-good vibe all the way around, right? Everybody from the young players up to the vets seem to be setting the standard, especially when you want to think about the type of players who were standing out in OTAs. Plenty of undrafted free agents. We had Garrett Wilson, who was said to be the best player in all of OTAs. Sauce Gardner, who's still sharpening iron versus iron, battling Garrett Wilson out there. And then, of course, you have the vets, CJ Uzama, who was said to click with Aaron Rodgers towards the end of OTAs. I want to say Corey Davis wasn't there much, if at all. But you have the guys like Connor McGovern and, of course, all of the quality guys on the defensive side for us. He goes on to say, I think if everybody does that in conjunction with the fact that we now have a phenomenal quarterback, we'll have a chance of maximizing what we think we can do and be pretty straightforward there. There's something different about being on a team that knows they have a chance if they handle all the business they need to handle. So this leads into one of the best quotes that he had about this team, and I think this is going to definitely be something new across the board. Players, coaches, fans alike. We haven't seen this since maybe the days of Chad Pennington, matter of fact. So Thomas Morstead says when you have a guy that can take a game over, there's really no situation you can be in where you still don't have a chance to win. When there's the reality of that, it allows guys to play free. It also adds a level of pressure and expectation for everybody to do their job. So accountability has been one of the first things Robert Saleh was able to go in and correct. And there's been some slip ups or maybe some varying opinions on how he's handled certain situations. Think Elijah Moore and some of the public disruption that was going on. And I know there was another interesting one. For me personally, it was some of the DUIs and the craziness that was happening on the coaching staff. Very tough situation to be in, though, because it's not like you can just go and find a player that's on the field and replace them and your coaching staff. You guys already kind of said you've been accustomed and familiar to a lot of these guys, especially since they were getting flagged with things late in the season or earlier on, and it was just lingering all throughout due to legal issues being pushed back. But accountability has been one of the huge things that have been corrected and nullified under Robert Saleh's guidance. And I think you point to the fact that we've had very young players that have risen to the upper echelon of the NFL ranks at their position, and then we have other guys that are definitely core contributors and probably still above average in the grand scheme of things at their positions. And I look at guys like Michael Carter II to make that argument. I would probably point to somebody like Quinnen Williams, who definitely had the late jump. Quincy Williams, who was a waiver wire pickup, looked like he was going to be jumping ship and out of the NFL. We turned him into a quality above average starter. That should be a huge piece of a Super Bowl run for us. So I think Thomas Morstead's essential messages here definitely rings true, right? This is the season for us where execution is going to be at a premium. It's been the one thing that has really eluded this franchise for a long time, and it's failed at many levels. The coaching staff and the kind of play calls that we were sending out, where we had multiple 3-and-outs back to back. You think about the quarterback play. Obviously, nobody on the team felt like we were in every game with the quarterback that we had, and unless we got an early lead, which is rare to come across in the last couple of years, it's been tough sledding. We've had to revert back, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but obviously we weren't winning enough games. But we had to revert back to that old defensive style where you just have to hope you can limit the opposing team to no points. Maybe we win by a field goal or two, and that's not a winning recipe long term. So Aaron Rodgers in the building. We've already seen how he's come in and taking the bull by the horns in and of itself. He's focusing not only on offensive players but defensive players, making sure the offense knows the calls, the checks, the things he likes to run, quizzing everybody across the board. On the defensive side, he's talking with the coaches, chatting it up with the players, letting them know why he's attacking certain areas of the field with the defense and alignments that he's seeing and all of these different things. So hopefully that ends up being a winning recipe to get us to the Super Bowl, which I want to say is being held in Las Vegas, right? So if so, I'm definitely going to try to find a way there since I'm in Las Vegas. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are. New York Jets, these veteran presences that we have from guys like Thomas Morstead, for sure, guys like Randall Cobb that are coming over, and the messages that they're delivering. And I'll catch you guys again. Peace.